Okay, welcome back. Wolf190D here with a shipbuilding episode. Gonna do a modern battleship 1 with 14-inch guns. Yes, on the modern battleship 1 hull. I'm going to set, let me see here. What was I doing my battleship speeds at for the time being? I think I was setting them at 30 knots. Where did they be? Battleship? No, that's the Lothringen. Um, Yeah, that's an old one. There we go. Yes. So a 30 knot build, and I'm going less beam, less draft. Though actually, I think I'm going to try to set this one at 45,000 tons. Where's the Odin? Yeah, the Odin was at 45,000 tons. So I'm going to try to stick with the similar size. Though I'm going to upgun, so my Odins are 13.2 inch main guns. Modern Tower 1. And for the secondary tower, 20 base accuracy, 21.5 base accuracy. So I have a couple of options here. I can go with the modern secondary tower or the advanced tower with the funnel. And I kind of don't want to do the advanced tower with the funnel, mainly because I want to see if I can get by with a single funnel. So let's see what that does. All right, forward weight offset, great, just a little bit, and slap one of these uber funnels here. We'll go with an Uber funnel 2. Now, I'm going to set to best oil fuel that I have. I don't need to go with the upgraded boiler, it doesn't look like. Okay. So far, it looks good. Now, for main guns, I'm going to go with 14. What did I do with the Odin? Did I do 4 twins? I did do 4 twins. I'm going to stick with the 4 twin because and those are Mark 3s. Mark 3s. So the best Mark 4s I have right now currently are actually only the 10-inch. I have 16s, but those are Mark 1s, and the 15s are Mark 1s. So yeah, let's stick with the 14s, and we'll go with a barbette. I need a barbette, a big barbette, I think. A standard barbette up front. There we go. Okay. And try to get my towers positioned pretty well. I don't know that the balancing is going to work as well as I had hoped on this, but we shall see. If nothing else, let's see here. Okay, I can stick those there, and I'll put those there. Go some 6-inch secondaries, because the casements with the modern hulls are no longer an option. So 6-inch guns, actually technically, if I wanted to stick with more traditional German armament, I could go with the 5 inches and up them to 5.9, which actually, now that I think about that, let me see what that's going to do. Go with 5.9s, and as you can see, that's not going to pan out quite like I had hoped. So That's not going to fit there. Okay, good. All right, so do a quick comparison. We've got at 5,000 meters, which is kind of a safe bet anyway. 3.1, so the standard penetration. And you know what? Let me go ahead and get my ammunition set the way that I want it to, so that I know better what I'm looking at. If I go with base views, 1.7, no, it's going to be 1 inch and 1.1 inch to 3.1. Semi-armor piercings aren't quite cutting it anymore. So let's see here. This is going to get me about 13 inches of penetration at 17.5 with the main battery, which is probably really good. About 13 inches of penetration. That's going to pretty well wreck. And then if I, of course, upgrade that again, get my burst charge and propellant upgraded. Let's see here at 17.5. Yeah, it's going to be somewhere still around 13 inches of pen, but a lot more reliable. And then the base fuse at that range is going to murderize destroyers. And honestly, it's probably even going to be a threat to light cruisers with base fuse. Base fuse shells are really are actually superb to work with. I'm going to drop this to increased. Okay, so we have 5,000 meters, 6.1 versus 7.1. And what's the accuracy? 6.71 and 5.5 to 6.7. All right, I'm going to leave these two alone for now. For secondaries also, and it depends on what you want to do. 5-inch shells. I mean, if you're looking for a traditional build, the ratios are thus. If you take your 2 inches, drop them to 1.5, that's 37 millimeters, which was a fairly standard German small arms on ships. Take your 3-inch guns, up them to about 3.5. That'll get you 88s. 4-inch guns, up them to 4.1. That's 105. 5 inches is 128. 5.9 is 150. All right, so these are all fairly standard German armaments. Now, I am trying to just basically keep up to date on a lot of my techs, particularly with my battleships. I'm going to put hydroacoustics on them because battleships do benefit greatly from hydroacoustics. Not electrical, hydroelectric, or electrohydraulic. All right, Krupp Armor 4, Barbette 4, Anti-Torp 3, with a triple bottom hull, Reinforced Bulkheads 2, Anti-Flood 3, and a Citadel number 3. Yeah, my tech is sort of lacking in that department. Do I want electric batteries, or do I want to stick with the auxiliary diesel? I'll stick with the auxiliary diesels on the battleship. It'll help keep the cost down a little bit while still benefiting from having those auxiliary engines. Auxiliary engines are really nice to have, actually, on your battleships. As you can see, they do more turret traverse speed, water pumping. So yeah, your ship does benefit greatly from having those auxiliaries on them. So for secondaries, I'm just going to go ahead and slap in a bunch of these triple barrels, and I'll go ahead and fiddle with those later and make a decision. And can we squeeze any one single barrels? Not really. Not really. Sometimes you'll find that you can stick 1-inch guns on these little out portions on the and actually I better go ahead and drop them now. As a matter of fact, so -0.5 will give him 37 millimeter secondaries. Or if you want if you want to say have 50 millimeter secondary armaments, then you would just leave that at 2, which leaving it at 2 might not be the end of the world. But if I downsize, sometimes you'll find too that if you downsize, you can, of course, set to these things, because sometimes the base settings are a little bit on the large side and they won't work quite the way you want them to. Do I want to go with 105s or 88s? And right now, you'll note I am sticking with twin barrels, because my triple barrel tech is lacking at this point in time. So for me personally, I like to have much better accuracy on my ships. It seems to serve them a whole lot better when you do that. So let's see here. I guess twin 88s are going to be the way to go on the rear deck. Now the question is, do I want 150s or do I want to go up? Just go ahead and say screw it, go up to the 6-inch guns. The 6-inch guns have been, at least they had been working very well for me on battleship builds. 59 to 67 versus 62 to 71. If we lengthen these barrels, as I'm going to anyway, what does that get us? 62 to 74. It's not much of a difference. And as you can see, I'm sort of approaching the 5,000 ton mark. It's a shame I don't have these modern towers, or these yeah. It's a shame I don't have the front the main tower with the barbettes pre-built into them right now. It's going to cause a little bit of issue, I think, with my builds. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with the 5s, the 5.9s. I'm going to put those there for now, because I'm going to have actually I'll just set that right there for the time being, so that I can go ahead and shift these forward as I need them. And it's sometimes frustrating trying to get things in exactly the right spot that you want them. Oh wait, I have a 4 offset, not an aft offset. Gosh darn it. Okay, so I'll put those there. Now I have to shift back a little bit. So I'll put that there. Move that there. Now, sometimes you'll note that if you try to just grab certain pieces, it'll move all the pieces. So if you want to forego that displeasure, you hold control before you select the piece that you want to move. That's not going to go back here like that. 3.9. All right. It's not going to do that. 7 forward weight offset. So 3.5, max the length. And on the 37s, we'll max the length as well. Now, I'm really pondering, should I go ahead and up those back up to 50 millimeters? I'm not doing a strict traditional build as of yet. I'm waiting for the larger 15-inch, or the better 15-inch guns, the Mark oh boy, what do I have? Yeah, I'm waiting for at least Mark II 15-inch guns before I go ahead and try for an actual Bismarck build. So, 3-inch double barrels. Yeah, we'll go ahead and stick one of those in there. And let me see. Still got that forward weight offset. So let's see if the armor isn't going to straighten that out. We'll go with a 15-inch main belt, which would give us 7.5 on the fore and aft, if I'm sticking with that. And then I'll just do actually a 7-inch main deck and a 3.5 fore and aft. I know, I'm going a little lighter than I probably should on that. 7 inches on the superstructure, and we'll go ahead and say 17 on the conning tower. Now, it's giving me this really weird, and it does this sometimes. It's like, okay, where is the gun that has a poor sector fire? What you have to do is sort of manually go through and take a look. And I'm not really seeing it. Poor sector fire. Come on. Hey. That gun doesn't, that gun doesn't. Okay. Oh, now we got an aft offset. Okay, good. Aft offset, 0.1 aft offset. Who's going to write home about that? I mean, I guess technically you could if you really wanted to. And double check this one more time, because sometimes through fiddling with things you find out that you can go ahead and put things in certain places. Doesn't look like I've got any more mounting options for the smaller guns. So I have 2,000 tons left. Maybe I will go up to 50 millimeters. Yeah, I'll just make those 50s. It makes them more accurate. It makes them pen better. At 5,000 meters, they're not really punching holes in destroyers. But, you know, with your small secondaries, sometimes that's what your excuse me, your AG shells are going to be for. Now the 5-inch guns, on the other hand, are pretty much at 5,000 meters a threat to any of his light cruisers, which is getting close to what I've been encountering as far as torpedo range is concerned. Now, that forward barbette, let me see here, 0.2 and a 0.1 forward offset. We'll go with that. Yes. Okay. That's a standard superimposed barbette. Okay. Okay. 3.5-inch guns. Unfortunately, these really small guns are, but they're virtually unarmored. I'm going to go with 20. And if I want to do 6 inches, tell you what, 7 inches on top. And then a max on the barbette. And then the 5.9s, I'm just going to go ahead and we'll say 7 on that. We'll say 3.5 on top. That's good. And as always, a max barbette. I like to max my barbettes simply because they provide much, much better flash fire reduction, ammo detonation. So if you can, max out those barbettes. Let me see here, 1.5. We'll go with 1.5 on top of the 3-inch guns, and then 0 on all of the really small caliber weapons. Okay, so the 14s. Do I want to reduce the length of the barrel? I mean, it's 0.96. I'm going to leave that alone right now. Yeah, I'll go ahead and leave that alone right now. Okay, is there anything else that we can or should do to this ship? You know, I'm really considering maybe I increase the operational range, which we can up to 20,000 kilometers, which will allow these guys to strike pretty darn far from port. And that reset the forward offset. So let's see here. If I tuck this back one more time, one more notch, it's an aft offset. It's a 4 offset by 2, aft offset by 1.1. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. All right, now this annoying thing here. This annoying. Some guns have poor sector fire. Where? Which one has poor sector fire? I know, I hate it too. If I move that, it's going to re-rack everything further to the aft end. Let me go back up to this. And the reason I do neg beam draft primarily is this allows you to maintain certain weights while keeping a certain length, if that's what you're trying to go for. Also, cost reductions, though if you fiddle with the draft, it does reduce your fuel capacity, which you can, of course, adjust that via the range slider. And let me see here. What if I tighten up the Citadel a little bit more? Okay, I could move that one there. And then I could bump this one forward. Oh, yes. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. A perfectly balanced battle wagon. All right. Problem is how long are these going to take to build? 25 months. I think that's the build time on the Odins. No, actually, it's a little bit faster than the Odin. Look at that. A little bit faster. And I still have 700 tons to give, which, of course, allows you to leave room for more protections, different setups within armaments, propulsion upgrades, things of that nature. So, yeah. I think everything looks copacetic on this. We've got 50 millimeter as the small secondaries, 88s, and then of course 150 millimeter guns, couple turrets of that, which, yeah, there you go. With 14-inch main guns, the rate of fire is not bad. It's 0.96. The tube powder is going to give you a reload upgrade. I put enhanced reloading, and I'm leaving the shell size standard for now. Let me see. Yeah, see, if I upgrade to the heavy shells, then it's back to the same old crap with offset. But you'll notice that at 17.5, we're going through 14 inches of armor. So I'll leave them on standard for now, because 13 and some change is probably plenty for what I'm seeing right now. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. As always, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you all next time.